when he comes back. What happens at the end of all of this? Well, over here in 1 Corinthians 15, and there's just a handful of verses I want to read. But in verse 35, now Paul is speaking of the believer's resurrection from when you die. And there's people saying there is no resurrection. And Paul at one point says, look, if there's no resurrection, then why in the world are you being baptized for somebody that died and didn't rise again? If Jesus didn't rise, why are you being baptized? I mean, being baptized for a dead man doesn't do us anything good. So the people, the doubters, they say this. They said, well, someone will say, how are the dead raised up, and with what body do they come? So there's the question. Let me find my notes here. Here's what he kind of answers right here, beginning in verse 42. He says, the resurrection, he said, so also is the resurrection of the dead. Now, what he's described up to this point is he talks about how there's a natural body, then a spiritual body. There's this and then that. And he says, and in the same way, the resurrection of the dead is like that. He said, the body is sown in corruption, but it's raised in incorruption. This old sinful body is going to go down into the earth. But when it raises up, in the resurrection, it's going to come with a spiritual body. Listen, he said, it is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. And there is a natural body, and there is a spiritual body. Now think about that. You want to talk about consolation, you want to talk about rejoicing, because we do have a struggle here. But let me tell you something, Christian. This is not the end of things. This struggle, this war that we're going through, the battles that we fight here, and we fight them from the inside, in our own self, that we want to be conformed to Christ. But there's battles on the outside. Just Bob and Tammy's made a couple trips down to Guatemala. The Way of the Cross ministry has, I guess you could say, has invaded Guatemala. And that's not that they're the first Christians, but they've gone in there. And guess what? There's a battle to be fought. There's a war to be won. There are souls to be saved. So at the same time that we're fighting this war with just we want to be like Jesus, we're also fighting against the forces of hell on the outside that is trying to keep Jesus' kingdom, his church, from going forward. Do we kind of get that today? So listen to what he kind of comes to in this verse 25. He just says, I thank God through Jesus Christ our Lord. And then he says, so then, with the mind, I myself serve the law of God, but with the flesh, the law of sin. He talks in 2 Corinthians in a place, he talks about bringing in let me just read it. This is terrible. I think it's 2 Corinthians. Well, I can't find it, but